Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Blue Badge Crypto, bringing you another Bitcoin and market update. Really appreciate everyone's support. If you're not already over on Twitter, get over there at Blue Badge Crypto. That's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on trends, trading, and analysis in the market. So let's jump into Bitcoin real quick. We're on the 2-hour time frame, just looking back at what we were looking at yesterday on the update. And if you're following the Twitter updates as well, I mainly want to focus on kind of a macro view today and what I foresee on a more broad range spectrum. But at least let's cover what we have going on right now. So we had our lower time frame pattern here, and we utilized these levels as resistance here. When we broke out of this pattern initially, we came up and tested this level that I had marked for y'all as resistance once, twice. Actually had a little bit of a fake it down here, and then came up and pumped back into resistance, and then it failed, for the third time straight, and then we fell back down and broke any semblance of this pattern here. And now we're going to the technical target to the downside that I've had tagged for y'all around 32180. Okay. Some things that have gotten in the way. We did fall back down to the price support level here, and we bounced off of it a few times and have now really broken down from it, especially on this 2-hour time frame where we closed one and now we have a second candle below. So what we can have get in the way here is our higher time frame trend line. Okay, and I do want to show you all that. So we've had our higher time frame trend line from way up here, which has garnered respect every single time it's been touched. Right, it's either had a reaction off the line, okay, or there was a support and resistance flip of the line. Okay, each time it's been touched. So we're working on potentially testing that line once more. And something I want to see on that broad spectrum or that macro view is I want to retain this higher time frame trend line of support. Okay, that doesn't mean we're going to pop off of it and go to 100 million Bitcoin. But what I do want to see is at least utilize staying on this side of the playing field for a higher time frame trend line. Okay, what I don't want to see is lose this, back tested as resistance. If we were to come down here and then we start playing these levels but under the higher time frame trend line, I think that would be even worse than the situation that we're already in. Right, I think if we can maintain this as a support level and at least play the levels on this side of our line, I think that would be at least a better look here. But we are breaking down from any semblance of this pattern. We're headed towards this technical target potentially, but we have run into the support level here in the price action and potentially our higher time frame trend line right here. So let's back it out to, I want to get on a blank Bitcoin chart for y'all. And let's back it out to like a 2-day chart here. So what I wanted to show y'all is where we could potentially be finding a bottom. I don't want to call a bottom. I think the bottom is going to be this price or that price. I think it'd be naive to necessarily do that and get married to, I think that's going to be the bottom and that's that. But we do have ways to look at where a bottom could be, right? So let's just flash back to this chart real quick. Okay. So I told y'all that when we have price below the yellow line, all these levels down here are in play. Okay. And so far we've just been pretty much playing them. Pretty much what I told you would happen whenever they first got turned on per se, is that we're just going to kind of range through these levels, going down to 19K here. Okay, so let's pull this blank chart back up and let's go over some things of what we can utilize to find a potential ending point for this. Again, we're not going to call a bottom, but we can at least look and try and evaluate where one could possibly be. So outside of the price levels that I have labeled for y'all, one tool that I like to use is the Fibonacci trend-based tool, okay? And you can use it to find technical targets from these macro moves. I really like it on the macro scale. So for example, if we wanted to find from this price action here where we had a low and our high and our low on a very macro view on this 2-day chart, we could potentially find a target for where we could end up on the next move up. Okay, so we take it from our previous low to our previous high, okay, to our next low. And that's going to give you a target. What you shoot for is the 1, And going up to the 1618 would just be a cherry on top, okay? But what you're typically going to shoot for is the one level right here. And you can see that we came and hit this level, came down from it, and then had one last peak here, just crossing over into the blue territory here between the 1 and the 1618. Okay, you can use it again over here where we go from our low to our high here and back to our low. And same thing, you can see we came up, ran into this level on the 1 once more, fell back to the 786, and then had one last peak again between the 1 and the 1618. So you shoot for the 1. Anything in between going up to the 1618 is kind of the cherry on top for you. But what I wanted to show y'all is that you can use this in reverse as well, okay? So we can go from our previous high, okay? Let me get that right on the dot for y'all. So from our previous high to our low here, okay? And back to our previous high. So let me just make sure I got these levels lined up exactly right for y'all, okay? Right there, right there. So as you can see, that puts the 1. So the same exact way that we made a high target by going from our low to our high to our low, we can do the same exact thing with a downside target going from a high to a low back to a high. Do y'all see that? And in a similar situation, that would put the 1 right here at 33,000, which is essentially where we're sitting at right now, okay? And I think that would be the absolute best case scenario. I think best case scenario is that the bottom is at 33,000. I think that's the absolute best thing that we could hope for. I personally, don't foresee that. I think that the bottom's going to have to be, something like this where we come down and we wick up real quick. I don't think it's going to be something where we just hang around there for a while and then all of a sudden we decide we just want to, start going back up. So me personally, what I think is going to happen is that just how like we were shooting for a maintain of a higher low structure here, right, where we could come down here and still close higher than this level and maintain a higher low structure, or come down to here and still maintain a higher low structure. It's essentially the same thing, but now we're just much lower in price action. Does that make sense? So me personally, I think that since we've come all the way down here, I don't see why we're not going to come down here approximately to this range and grab liquidity down here. I think it almost has to happen. Will it happen? I don't know. I take that back. Nothing has to happen in crypto. But I think that this is more of a likely scenario where we, come down into this 1 and grab this liquidity down here and potentially even still make a higher low, right? Where we still have our lows down here at what did it go down to? 28.8. You even have a wick right here to 28.1 back in January of 2021. So I see that more as a potential, as a more likely scenario. Again, best case scenario is that we just hit the bottom right there on the 1 at 33,000. This is what I personally more foresee, right? That we come down here and utilize this liquidity pocket again, where everything has been it's been proven that it's been bought up every single time, right? Now, will it happen this time? Who knows? Maybe that's totally wrong, and we're going down to $0 for 1 Bitcoin. My personal worst case scenario is coming down to our previous peak high here, right around 19K. If we go below 19K, I think that we have absolutely just decimated the market. I think it would have to be more factors than just a crypto sell-off. I think it would be more so that the total economy is going into some type of recession where stocks are absolutely not recovering. Oil prices are going down, gold, everything like that. Everything would have to be going down if Bitcoin is going to break down from this 19, 20K level, and we start talking about 10K. I don't even want to say 10K because that just absolutely is absolutely insane. I just can't get around. I just can't get behind the 10K thing. I can't do it. Can't do it, guys. But my personal worst case scenario is the 20K range. What I would love to see is this liquidity zone. Now that we're down here, like I said, they're going to milk it for what it's worth while we're down here, guys. We're not just going to, lollygag around and, okay, let's, get back up. We're already down here. We're already in, max pain. Why not milk it for what it's worth while we're down here is my personal opinion. So like I said, best case scenario, we hit it on the one. My personal belief is that, we could come down here and grab this liquidity and slightly make a low and possibly have continuation from there. In worst case scenario, we come down to that 19K level. Again, I don't even want to speak this into existence down here, but that's what I'm looking on a macro view, guys. Okay, let's get back to the chart where I have the levels on here for y'all. So let's zoom in back a little bit more. Let's get to like a 4-hour chart here. Okay. So if we do get down to those levels where we want to grab liquidity, which is, around that, 28, 29K or so, it's going to be level plays like this, right? So we came down here. Let's get the path tool out. So we fell down from the yellow line, had a small technical target to close below. We did that. We fell back to the first level of price action support that I have, utilized that, fell below, back tested as resistance. Now we've fallen back down to the next level. We're trying to test that as support. So it's just like stairs, right? We're just like utilizing stairs. All these price levels, it's just like a bouncing action, right? So we come up, we potentially do something like that. It's just playing these levels, right? Maybe we get a break back above here, go test this range, something like this. There's going to be a lot of chop action that while we're down here, it's not just going to be a swift, let's ease the pain real quick. It's going to be an absolute, just drain of people. It's going to try and absolutely chop people to pieces. It's exactly what they're looking for, is that it just has to decimate people where they can't take it anymore, and they absolutely just have to sell and give in to this pain down here. So it's going to be, it's going to be a bumpy road down here. It's not going to be an easy path, right? But we have these levels. We know how to play them. We can go in and analyze, right, these 1 hour, these 2 hour charts. And again, if you're a precise trader and you know what you're doing, you can trade these levels, right? Like here, we had a breakout. You set your buy order, you set your stop loss below the wick highs, and you set profit levels at resistance and technical targets. Okay, you break down from support, you set a short, you set your stop loss behind the wick highs, and you play your profit levels at the next level of support or a technical target. So you can still play these levels, but you have to know what you're doing. You can't be a novice and try and trade this action, because like I just said, it's meant to absolutely decimate new people, decimate traders. Even hodlers that are thinking they're going to make it through will give into the pain and sell their positions. Okay, so that's what I'm looking on a macro view. Again, I just wanted to cover the micro 1 hour movements that we've been kind of looking at. If you were on the Twitter, I posted one of the indicators yesterday. Let's just pull it up real quick. Let's get on a 1 week chart. I'll show you all that. So this is something that's never happened. Okay. So on this Boom Hunter Pro, again, I don't put all my money on indicators, anything like that. Indicators are just a tool to do exactly that, indicate something that could be happening, right? And this is just one. But I wanted to show you all that because I think it's, naive to at least ignore, potential signs and indicators, right? So something that's happened this is on Bitcoin from quarter one of 2015, of January 2015, all the way to now. This is the boom line on the Boom Hunter Pro indicator, and it goes down whenever there's a dip in the market. And the higher the time frame, the harder it is to get down here. So you can see on the weekly time frame, this has never happened. The boom line has never come down here and had a full descent. Okay, so we jump into like a 1 day chart. It's going to be a little bit more prevalent, right, where you get more dips. You go to like a 5 day chart, and it becomes even less. Look, the last time it only happened was over the summer that we got a dip. We also have one here on the 5 day chart as well. We go out to the weekly view, it's never happened. Okay, never happened. So again, not putting my money on indicators. I'm not saying that's a bottom call. I'm not saying the bottom's in, I'm just saying it'd be naive to ignore the indicator signs that, we rely on them when we're going up, when we're doing all this price action. When price action looks great and the indicators are telling us things, we love it. But I think it'd be naive to ignore them as well when we have price action going the opposite way and just totally throw them out the window. So again, not putting, all my eggs in one basket, but I do think that they can be telling of things to come soon, right? So that's what I'm looking on a macro view, guys. That's what we're looking at on a zoomed in 1 hour chart for price action. We've fallen out from any semblance of pattern here, fallen back down to a level of support, trying to hold it as support right now. We don't really know what we want to do. We also have our higher time frame trend lines to support us, but we do have a technical target to the downside of 32180. Okay, guys? So if you have any more questions, throw them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, and thanks for watching.